are you there? Francis Bard, present. And JTG. So I suppose all the colleagues in the district have joined. So colleagues, without wasting time, let me call upon the HOD, Dr. Ishmael, to come and do the reflection of day one. Can you put your hands together for Dr. Ishmael? Don't stop up until she arrives at the podium. Harder than that. Yes, much better. Yes, I want to hear that. Thank you very much, HOD. Over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Silingele. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sure you all will agree with me that we had a memorable day yesterday. A real good day. You know, it's very seldom that we get together like this. Very seldom that we are able to engage, given our distances. And we always say to our colleagues in the Gautengs and the Western Capes, where they can travel within a couple of hours or even sometimes minutes to get to one another. Our situation in the Northern Cape is just unique because we travel, just to get to Uppington, we travel almost 5-6 hours. Then we have to sleep over, do our little business, have our meetings and come back. If we want to go to Springbok, Mr. Silingele, there's a whole day's travel. So our funding gets depleted on traveling and looking after our little needs like a plate of food on the table. So things are difficult in the Northern Cape. But we're not going to complain. We're resilient people. We do what we have to do. And we're going to, like I said yesterday, we're finding our place in the sun. If we do reflect on day one, I'm sure you will all agree that the scene for quality foundational learning and early childhood care and education was clearly set by our MEC. He spoke about the importance of a strong workforce, human resource development, continuous professional development, and I think even Hilda from Custodia, she spoke about the importance of having a sustainable workforce within ECD so that you know, we don't need to replenish and rebuild all the time. MEC also emphasized the ultimate goal, which is to foster the holistic development of all our children and the need to equip them with the necessary foundation for the future. Then we have had, I think, the star of the show, our Deputy Minister. She very eloquently and smartly emphasized that language and culture significantly impacts on learner development and pointed out that language and culture, and in this case, the dance, which the learners from Platfontein exercised on stage here. We saw that this dance and song enhances cognitive abilities and overall academic performance while fostering a sense of cultural identity and a sense of belonging. Ons kom van die Noord-Kaap, so ons praat Afrikaans, ons praat Koe, ons praat Kwe. Isn't that so, ladies and gentlemen? Ons praat Setswana, en ons praat isiXhosa. So, what we do, we make our children learn in those languages. Mother tongue instruction. One of our panelists, I think it was Dr. Dadis, spoke about the importance of mother tongue instruction. So we saw, ladies and gentlemen, a clear picture of what our sense of identity should be in terms of determining and creating this bright and strong foundation for early childhood development, early childhood care, very important. So I do believe even the acting chancellor, vice chancellor of Salplaki University, she spoke about this journey. And I looked at her expression when she watched those Ku and Kwe children dancing. And you could see that there definitely was a sense of identity. And therefore, we understand, and I believe yesterday's sessions made us understand the importance of shaping the future by investing in language development, in numeracy development, and understanding that the critical period from birth to 5 or from birth to 9 is the time in which the foundation is laid for a child's physical, cognitive, emotional, and social development. Our minister also emphasized the importance of the Bana Pele mass registration drive. Colleagues, it doesn't cost money. Get yourself on the system. Assert yourself in your space if you're not registered, so that people can sit up, take notice of you, and know that they've got to support you. That's the reason, so that you do grow from bronze to silver to gold until you're fully registered with all of the necessary resources. Minister also appealed to us to work together to build a strong foundation for all our children. In the panel discussions, I was really intrigued, listening to the various specialists and the academics as they emphasized the importance again of play in the early years of a child, 0 to 5, 0 to 9, and the importance of cognitive development with the distinct phases of sensory, or rather the sensor-motor phase, the pre-operational phase, the concrete phase, and then the formal operation. So it's a phase, incremental phase approach. That is how we develop children. The importance of quality early care and educational programs, health care, nutrition, is important for cognitive and perceptual and motor cognitive and language skills. And then, of course, we can't do this alone. So we look at parental involvement and the importance of parental involvement. And with this, these academics, these specialists set the tone for us to go into our commissions. We now would go back, even as a province, and chop and chip and shape, further shape our ECD strategy with your input, because we're going to listen very carefully to those resolutions which you have given to the Commission chairpersons. Importantly, the use of professional development of ECT practitioners. It is huge. Also the fact that our practitioners feel that even our teachers feel that they're not capacitated to really assist learners with barriers to learning. So inclusivity played a key role in our discussions. And we were made aware of the importance of this inclusivity. And we would want, there was a young lady that spoke about autism, very, very difficult. It was always one of those hidden areas in inclusive education, which wasn't much spoken about. And we always thought that these children are difficult in our classrooms, but now we are aware of the fact that many of our children suffer from these distinct barriers, and that it is our inability as adults to work with them, to tickle their fancy, particularly looking after their needs. We now know that the conversation opens up and we're all aware of these issues. So we've got to make ourselves find strategies, find pedagogies, find ways to deal with these issues. So to sum up, there's got to be an effective workforce, there's got to be continuous professional development, there's got to be an emphasis on inclusivity, parental involvement, and importantly, a connect. ECD should find its place and space within our communities, within our municipalities, in our IDPs. These are some of the key elements which was highlighted in yesterday. I think all of us understand the importance of ECD now. For very long, even the Northern Cape Department of Education was criticized. You're only looking after your matrics. You're not looking after ECD. You're not looking after the whole spectrum of the continuum in education. You have to look after building a strong foundation. You have to look after the GET band and the FED band. But ladies and gentlemen, you now know if we get this right, if we ensure that we build a strong foundation for ECD, we're not going to have and experience the problems that we experience in the FET band. So this colleague sums up what we reflected on yesterday. And I do believe it is your collective wisdom, the emphasis of the key areas which the academics and the specialists spoke to us about, and also the commitment and resolve of our leadership. The policy environment is there, and it is continuously shaped to take us forward. Ladies and gentlemen, we look forward to what came out of the commissions. Enjoy the day further. Thank you very much.
Colleagues, why are you stopping? I will tell you when to stop. Now, as a facilitator, you may stop. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, HOD. Colleagues, that was that, and we don't have to have inputs here. Myself and Time were friends. Those who know me, they will tell you better. And we're not doing well with time because we're supposed to have started at 8:30, so we started a bit late. So to save time, let me explain how the program is going to unfold. I think all the commissions are ready now, the rapporteurs, all of them are ready. Now to save time, I would like each commission to send the rapporteur forward. One will sit here, the other one there. This is 1, 2, and Commission 3, in that order. Can they come forward? I'm trying to spare time here. Otherwise, we'll sit here forever. And I'm told that the MEC want to ascend the podium by 11:15. So we don't have time. The chairpersons of the commissions, can you please send the reporters? Or you don't have? Or in the absence of the reporters, can then the chairpersons become the reporters? You may come forward. Are you commission 1? 3, you'll be there. There's commission 3. Do it. Do it. Supposed to be commission 2 then. No, you don't count like that. It's 3 if you count the descending way. 3, 2, 1. Or 1, 2, 3, the ascending way. So you are 3. 3. Commission 2. Where's commission 2? Okay. Commission 2. And then commission 1. Don't stop. Harder. Harder. I never said to you run. I was saying harder. Okay, once more, colleagues, this is how the program will unfold now. We'll start with Commission 1, and then Commission 2, and then Commission 3. And then there will be inputs from each commission, and then we'll also allow plenary also to engage. Now, there's been an agreement here that we'll just adopt the reports. We won't do the resolutions and adopt the resolutions here. The EMT will do that and then further disseminate the resolutions of this Indaba. So that's how we gonna move with the program for the day. So let me start with Commission 1 without wasting time. Commission 1, Curriculum Innovation, Teacher Training and Development. May you please come forward to do the report. Thank you very much. Your name and surname? Your name and surname? Kidi. Kidi. Okay, Kidi, over to you.
Good morning, colleagues. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Our commission, all protocol observed, thank you very much. Our commission had to was given the responsibility of curriculum, curriculum innovation. So in our commission, there was a lot of deliberation.
Sorry, may I disturb if you may? I don't see any presentation of the report. Is it going to be done that way? Where you just use your listening skills and see nothing? Is it on the screen? Oh, no, thank you. For all the commissions. If not, the other commissions must follow suit, because as you present the report, then it must reflect also on the screen. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Our report has got some corrections that were effected, and under the priority issues, according to the slide, you will find that our wording is different from what I'm going to say. It's strengthening foundation phase curriculum. And then the recommendation that has been given in the strengthening of the curriculum is that the 21st century skills in the foundation phase must be integrated in our curriculum. And the impact that will bring forth that is better learner readiness for upper grades when our learners are being promoted to the other phases. And that can be done in the medium to the long term. And possible risks are that there can be resistance to curriculum change. But the possible mitigation is that incremental integration and teacher support materials can assist in developing that. And also, the other recommendation that has been made to strengthen the foundation phase curriculum is to expand the use of technology in the foundation phase classrooms. And the impact that will come forth from that is enhanced engagement and differentiated learning. And the time frame for that is medium term. The possible risk is that digital divide and infrastructure gaps can slow the process. And then the mitigation for that is the request that provision of offline capable technology must be blended with learning models. And then we continue with the strengthening of the foundation phase curriculum, proposing that localized curriculum through indigenous knowledge system and community-linked learning must be effected. The impact that will bring forth that is that more inclusive, relevant education will take place. Because we find that culture is sometimes ignored or neglected in the current curriculum as it is not done in depth. And the time frame for that is medium term. The possible risk is that you find that our teachers have lack of content on what to do and how to do that. But then we said the possible mitigation can be that we must collaborate with our elders and community who have the knowledge to do that. And then the next priority area under the teacher training and development is that there are gaps in foundation phase teacher preparation, especially in equipping educators for inclusive play-based and differentiated learning. Therefore, we recommend that we must reform pre-service training to align more closely with real classroom demands. For example, handwriting, inclusive method, and differentiation must be developmental. And then the impact that will be effected is that stronger and better equipped foundation phase workforce will be evident. The time frame for that is short to medium term. And the risk is, this wording is so harsh, misalignment with current provider curriculum. We thought that maybe if we can say to strengthen the lack of collaboration with the current provider of the curriculum, who is we are recommending that it must be the Department of Higher Education and Training, and the HEIs must align the course content. And then also, in the very same priority, the recommendation is to mandate compulsory in-service training for foundation phase teachers with focus on inclusion, learner diversity, and socio-emotional development. The impact that will be effected is that improved classroom management and retention of learners and reduced dropout will be evident. That can be also for short and medium term. And then the other one still underneath that, okay, now we are moving to curriculum innovation. The recommendation is to provide logistical support for teachers, trainees, particularly in rural areas. And the impact will be increased participation and completion rate among rural teachers. That is one of the corrections that we made. Immediate to short-term time frame, and the possible risk is the resources are limited. And then the mitigation was that collaboration with district offices and bursary schemes can assist us in alleviating that challenge. And then the other recommendation is to institutionalize on-site mentorship, coaching, and PLCs in schools to get the impact of enhanced peer learning and sustained support, and that can be done during short term. And then the risk is school-level implementation gaps. You find that some at the schools are not that competent to assist in this, because those schools in the rural areas, you get the challenge of teachers not staying for a long time at those respective schools. And then the possible mitigation is provincial guidelines and district monitoring must be strengthened. And then the next one is, the recommendation is to curb qualification inflation and streamline qualification pathways for grade R and pre-grade R practitioners, because the impact that can be brought to that is prevent burnout and promote sector stability. And the time frame that is requested for that is immediately. And then the possible risk is policy confusion and loss of practitioners. In this case, we also said sometimes you find that the interpretation of how the colleagues would interpret the policy, they would be confused in not interpreting it the way it must be, or the way it means, or how it should be interpreted. And then the mitigation in that is national clarity on the qualification framework. Remember, we had a question that was asked about the pre-grade R. So that issue was addressing the issue of the pre-grade R. And then our slide that speaks about the strategic integration of technology into foundation phase learning curriculum. This is what the commission was agreed upon. And because there are so many points here, align technology to use the curriculum goals, support effective teaching practices, and promote active and inclusion in learning. That is how we can also strengthen our curriculum using technology. The key issues are that significant gaps in pre-service teacher training and poor access to ongoing in-service development, lack of inclusivity training, proposal for school-based mentoring, PLCs, and blended learning platforms to upskill teachers. As a commission, we thought that maybe this can be the resolutions, but we know that the chairperson has already said something about the resolution, but can I just share them with you? That the commission agreed that the teacher development must be continuous, contextualized, and collaborative. And we are requesting that funds must be lobbied to support rural practitioners to participate in training. And thank you very much.
Let me pause a little bit, colleagues, and I greeted the MEC in absentia, and to avoid the risk of being interpreted as I gossiped about the MEC in absentia, I think I need to do it now the correct way and greet the MEC in his presence. Good morning, MEC. That was not a gossip, colleagues, that one. Eh? Yeah. Thank you very much, and thank you very much, KD Commission 1. Now we're gonna now give an opportunity to the commission, to the members of the commission to have inputs. Where are the members of Commission 1? Are you still breathing? Or are you saying that all is well? There's no aftertaste, ne? Okay. Now, if Commission 1 is happy, so you did good work, Rapporteur. They are happy. There's nothing to input on. Now we'll give now the plenary to engage on the report of Commission 1. Anyone? Any inputs? The plenary can't say we are also as happy as Commission 1. Or is that the case? Or are you also trying to spare time? It's Friday. Okay, going? Going? There's an appetite, one. While others are still digesting, there's an appetite here. So it's only one. Okay. Then you can shoot from the hip. The roving mic, please. Okay.
Thank you very much and good morning, everyone. An addition that I wanted to make in terms of training, it's the issue of our ECD practitioners, the gap around coaching and mentoring, because they go to training but also will need to look in terms of upskilling them and also mentoring them and coaching, because when you go into practice, in terms of the implementation, that's where we need to strengthen. So continuous support needs to be provided to our ECD practitioners, where we take them through mentoring and also coaching them throughout the process. Thank you.
Beautiful, thank you very much. That was an input to Commission 1. I don't see any other hand. Okay, so in the absence of any, then we agreed to say that what we're going to do here, we're going to adopt the report. So is there any mover to that? That was the report of Commission 1. I don't see any hand. Is that the indication of, okay. Okay, you ma'am. The name and surname, and from where are you?
Okay, thank you. Good morning, everyone. I am Mayor Irene Williams. I move that we adopt the report of Commission 1. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much once more. I've been reminded by the acting HOD that I missed somebody. I missed the MEC here. I missed MEC of Public Works, MEC Makatong. MEC, a very good morning too. Yes. So I think I've covered everybody. Who else did I miss? Remember, I did this, I greeted everybody, but it looks like the HOM was keeping everybody in a holding room, holding everybody tightly so. in a holding room. MC, can you come and correct that which you did?
Good morning, ladies and gents. You still look good. You still the very same energetic audience of yesterday. The MEC really appreciates that. MEC is not delayed. MEC was waiting for other dignitaries to join him. That is why he arrived with an entourage. MEC says, I should briefly indicate to you who has joined you, not him, who has joined you in the second day of the G20 plenary session for Indaba. We are joined by MEC Makato, responsible for public works. Amongst others, we have the mayor for Mtanjeni, Mayor Nkumbi. We also have Mayor Matthijs for Kaiharip. Also have Mayor Kopp for Rechtersveld and Mayor Williams for Katelopile. Those are the dignitaries that have really joined you today. Yesterday we had an entourage as well, similarly to the colleagues. That's the significance of the summit. Oh, MEC requests that they just stand up and greet all of you. Please, dignitaries, can you show their faces? Thank you.
Thank you very much, HOM. The errata have been corrected. Item and error analysis. Foundation phase will tell you that. so the errata have been now corrected. So where are we now? We were checking them over. And the hand of the dignitary there was up. Or has it been lowered now? Already moved? I haven't seen it. Okay. Okay, no, thank you very much. Do we need a seconder to the mover? Is there any? There is a one. Okay.
Morning. My name is Walter Roy from NASJEP. I second the adoption of Commission 1.
Thank you very much. So we have concluded now the report of our Commission 1. Now, without wasting time, we'll then move to Commission 2. Commission 2, Inclusive and Equitable Access to ECCE. Commission 2, may you please come forward, reporter.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Elizabeth Nkoko from JTG, representing Commission number 3, Inclusive and Equitable Access to ECCE, under the chairperson of Ms. Meshia Fani. Commission 2, what did I say? Commission 2, yes. Sorry for that. Our priority issues are as follows, under inclusive and equitable access to ECCE. We have access in rural and peri-urban and informal areas. And then we also have the proposed resolutions and recommendations. We recommend that there should be a promotion in home-based ECCE. Example, Iso Labantwana, and to introduce mobile ECD centers in rural and informal areas. The use of recyclable materials to enhance learning space, and also funding equity-based learner allocations in rural areas. To create play groups and digital play groups for poor communities, and lastly, parent empowerment programs in this priority issue. And the impact will be increasing coverage, underserved areas, and reducing overcrowding, and to enhance parent involvement. And the time frame for this is a medium term from 1 year to 3 years. Then there are possible risks under this priority that will be lack of funding and shortage of trained facilitators. The mitigation will be that communities must be mobilized, lower cost models, partnership with NGOs and Department of Social Development. We also have the funding model as our priority issue, and we are proposing that, or we have made the resolutions that we should establish community food gardens for income. So in ECD centers, the food gardens must be established. They should host fundraisers, create ECD boards for new centers, tap into private funding like the Lotto Elm Palms for Life, leverage mine CSR and municipality discounts. Should hold open days for funder engagement, and the impact will be strengthened financial sustainability and local ownership of ECCE centers, and the time frame will be short to medium term. Possible risk will be limited access, private funders, and donor fatigue. And the mitigation will be to strengthen the strengthening of intersectoral partnership and use government advocacy. Another priority will be tracking and monitoring ECCE participation, with the recommendation that should be expanded to SA sums for ECD, meaning that SA sums should use the ECDs should use SA sums, integrate with home affairs, use churches to assist with data, address lack of birth certificate, which includes mothers and children. The impact will be improved ECCE data, visibility and planning, early identification of needs. And the time frame here will be medium term. Possible risk here will be that data privacy concerns and fragmented systems. Mitigation to pilot integration into selected districts involved home affairs at national level. Inclusive access, the priority, provision for diverse learning needs, and we recommend to provide appropriate resources and specialist services. We also recommend to ensure inclusion in activities and parent information sessions. The impact will be to improved learning outcomes for children with barriers to learning, and the time frame will be ongoing, with possible risk of shortage of specialists and lack of training. possibly to the facilitators and practitioners. And the mitigation should partner with the universities, NGOs, for training teachers and parents. Another priority issue is early identification of special needs. And the proposed resolution is to use the Road to Health booklet, train and support parents and practitioners, collaborate with clinics, multi-professional team, provide classrooms and accommodation, and the impact there, timely intervention and better support planning with a short to medium term time frame. And the possible risk there will be resistance to screening and limited ref. I don't know, this word was not completed. Then the key issue that we agreed on in Commission 2, the first one says severe infrastructure and transport constraints in rural communities, underfunding of community-based sites, unequal access due to documentation, that is birth certificates, refugee status. And the resolutions are establish early identification system for children with learning barriers, and recognize level 4 and 5 qualifications and avoid shifting qualifications goalposts. And lastly, to develop an ECD infrastructure plan to close equity gaps. And I thank you.
Thank you very much to Commission 2. And then the members of the commission, do you want to input? Commission 2, ne? Okay. Over to you, ma'am.
Morning, everyone. Thank you. My input from ECDs again is that after all the feedback given, we request again that let the ECDs be treated fairly, according to the voice of the President. ECDs are our first priority. We do mistakes for a long time. Let those mistakes be clarified for dead dropouts of staff members, extremely practitioners. Thank you.
That is a very strong message. It must be taken care of. Thank you very much, ma'am. Another one from the commission? Was that the only one? Going? Do you also want to input, ma'am? Okay. It looks like the rapporteur for Commission 1 is also interested. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you. I just have some input also from Commission 3, and I think it links also closely to what Commission 2 presented on. A very good presentation. Just to add in terms of inclusive education, equitable access, but also sustainability. So just some input linking to what she just said now. The first thing also that I just want to mention in terms of the early identification, which is so important. But if people don't have information, the knowledge, then early identification will not take place successfully. So in terms of partnering with maybe higher education institutions, to look out for programs where, short learning programs, for example, where knowledge could be shared through such programs. That's one idea. Then also, she spoke about, timely intervention, which is just so important and linking to early identification. And we know in the schooling system, we use the CS policy, which has to do with screening, identification, assessment, and then support. And the screening, the identification, with the help of the teachers, the practitioners, but also the parents. But taking it also a bit further, within these communities, for ECD practitioners and for teachers at school that knows about the CS processes, especially when it comes to the foundation phase, to start working very closely together, because the knowledge is there on how to use the CS and how to take it further, so that ECD practitioners might be aware of children with possible barriers to learning, but they don't know maybe how to take it further. So in committees and links, PLCs between ECD centers and schools, how can documents and implementation such as the CS be strengthened and taken further down to the ECCE centers also? Thank you.
Thank you, beautiful. It looks there's also another interest here. Is that hand up? Okay, thank you very much, ma'am. And then, my shoot, ma'am.
Good morning, colleagues. Thank you, Program Director. I just wanted to also come in here with the integrated, intersectoral, and also the intergovernmental sections where a child, as we were saying, the child is starting from conception. So it means health, Department of Sports, Arts and Culture. If we move out with the child and say we will need churches, we will need specific buildings, so it means public works, where there are buildings that are not in use, but you can use it to also just gather the children there and give them the necessary play and education. The other issue is that the local municipalities, where we are speaking about intersectoral. So this is, ECD is not for a certain department. ECD is for each and every department. So that one also, maybe we must lobby the other departments to come on board. COCTA also to come on board, so that at least we know that they are the custodians of the communities where the councillors and the municipality is. So they must also take care of our children. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Beautiful input as well. So there are three inputs to this commission. Any other hand? Going? Going? Gone. Thank you very much, colleagues, once more. And then can we move for the adoption of the report of this commission? Any hand? There is a hand. Okay.
Dumelang bagolo, ke nna Tisetso go Faone. I'm the provincial convener of COSAS. I move for the adoption. Thank you.
Adopted. Any support? Any other hand? There is it.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Hilda Barnard from Custodia. I second the adoption.
Seconded the adoption. Thank you very much. You did well. Commission 2 as well. And then the last man standing. Commission 3 on stakeholders collaboration and community involvement. Over to you, ma'am. Thank you.
Good morning to everyone. Thank you for the opportunity. I just want to say that I'm just reporting here this morning, but it was really a very good team effort in terms of the group that discussed all these pertinent issues last night. And thank you for their support. And also later, if there's some questions, the questions could also be answered by them, so that we see it as a collaborative effort. In terms of the third commission, stakeholder collaboration and community involvement, our chairperson was Dr. Palesa, and thank you to her in her absence. Commission 3 had a couple of questions, and on the screen you would also then see the feedback and the issues that were discussed last night. So some of the aspects that was yesterday, this is no talk show. So to really put action to words in saying that we're tired of a talk show, let us really work collaboratively together, because in this room, outside, there's a lot of expertise, a lot of knowledge, a lot of experience, and how can we bring that experience together? So roles, responsibilities, and how can we strengthen that which we already have, so that we know, as we see in terms of our motto also in going forward with the G20, that we really make sure that there's solidarity, equality, but also sustainability through that which we want to bring across in this commission also. We also spoke about the important role of the private sector, and how really the role of the private sector should be strengthened. But also we spoke about avoiding duplications and having really focused programs, and how the private sector could come in with funding, but not just with funding, because they sit with a wealth of knowledge, and how can mentorship become important. We spoke about the non-government organizations, our NGOs, civil societies, but also, most importantly, which policy frameworks, which policy guidelines are already out there, and how can it be used, how can it be strengthened, but also how can it be coordinated in better ways. The first slide, we spoke about the priority, and fragmentation was again very important and highlighted. So fragmented stakeholder roles and weak coordination, and making a commitment to moving away from coordination that could come from one department, such as the Department of Education, to make sure that from one body it's filtering down, one organization, departmental, that is filtering down to all the other departments. Proposed resolution recommendations: the importance of nurturing interdepartmental, interdisciplinary approaches in terms of early childhood care and education within the forums. And the forums also on a provincial and a district level, and we know these forums of health, social development, but also other forums, other departments that should come on board, such as SACE, Home Affairs, Treasury, which we can't miss, and the Law Department, and making sure in terms of the departments that come on board, how they can play an important role. We know that in terms of health, the speech therapists that's so much needed, the physiotherapists that's so much needed in making sure that, as ma'am said earlier, that early intervention, that early screening, and really capacitating our practitioners, our teachers at primary school level already with knowledge, so that they can gain the experience, the knowledge on how to really intervene as early as possible. Impact, more streamlined service delivery, but also that shared responsibility and accountability through the different departments, through well-coordinated service delivery, and starting with a coordination that's led by the Department of Education. Time frames, it's ongoing. There's short-term needs, but also very much long-term needs that we need. Possible risk mitigations, you know, the protection of, this is my area, This is my expertise. I'm the knowledge holder here. We need to break away from that because all of us can work together to make sure that we lay the proper foundation. Remember early childhood education, foundational learning, laying the foundation right so that we don't need to plaster the walls and fix the roof. If we have the foundation right, then we don't have cracks within our walls because we know the foundation is laid properly. Possible risk mitigations, we also spoke about mandate collaboration through policy, but also very important, who's going to monitor? Monitoring is an important role so that we all know that we are accountable and that accountability needs to filter through. Engage municipalities. And here also the whole aspect came out. We maybe, there's misinformation. There's not enough information given through. So we miss out in important stakeholder meetings through the municipality where we can already have our input, our footprint, where we also already say in the municipality and the meetings that's held, but this is our needs. And make our needs clear. And I don't want to use the word demands, but make that also clear and making sure that they can hear our voices. And it's our voices that should count at the end of the day when it comes to the funding, infrastructure, and resource allocation that's needed. Impact, integration of ECE in local development plans at municipal level, but how can it filter through to school level, district level, and provincial level? Short-term needs, time frames, and then also in terms of possible risk mitigations, limited municipal buy-in, how can that be corrected going forward in terms of the information sharing, but key partnerships with parents, with community leaders, with schools, so that we can all be informed and empowered. We know knowledge is power, isn't it? If we hear something, if we understand something, if we have the opportunity to ask questions within these forums, people will hear our needs. Possible risk mitigation, also advocate through SELGA and community lobbying, and being advocates for ECD and ECCE. The next slide, the priority also linking to well-coordinated service delivery, well-coordinated programs, projects, so that we can avoid duplication, so that we can avoid competition, but that we have set out goals that we want to reach. Proposed resolution, mobilize private sector to adopt centers. And adopting centers through mentorship, infrastructure support, but also strengthening through the QLTC and non-government organization. How can we sustain partnerships and sustaining partnerships and projects through dialogue and making sure that we avoid uneven engagements across districts. The bottom part, using professional learning communities and making sure that the message is spread around in these community of practices, PLCs, through blended approaches, through having meetings, and then the bottom part also, policy, frameworks, and making sure that frameworks, policies that strengthen, but that it's not just on paper, that it's really implemented from the ground up. Key issues, the disjointed stakeholder coordination. How can we overcome this as a collective, as a force for early childhood education, by taking everyone on board, practitioners, families, parents, community members, taking everyone on board and making sure that we have a coordinated effort for ECD, early childhood education. Sometimes also the limited involvement of private sectors, academia in sustained programming, and how can we make sure that that is also overcome. Resolutions, active integrated planning mechanism like the DDM, QLTC, formalize roles of municipalities, private sectors, teaching, training institutions, TVET colleges, and so forth. Establish clear communication channels to community members, parent involvement, and really, when it comes to parent involvement, that it is really well coordinated, but also well supported. Introduce memorandum of agreement with businesses for mentoring, infrastructure, and sustainability. And I say thank you to everyone for listening.
Thank you very much, Commission 3. But before that, there's one thing missing here. We need to also accommodate the South African Sign Language, because I've been battling now to understand what the colleagues were saying there as I was seated. But later on, then I managed to catch it. It was a sign language. All the attendees must not forget to use the QR code for the attendance register. May you please do that, all the attendees. That was a message via the South African Sign Language. Thank you very much, colleagues. And inputs from Commission 3? Commission 3? Okay. Mr. Magwa.
Thank you, Chair. Morning, colleagues. My name is Magwa. I just want to give an input with regard to the report that was just given here. Want to say currently now we only have the Department of Education that has got clear and a formal structure that assists with the implementation of ECD. However, the buzzword this morning here is coordination. In order for us to ensure proper coordination, I think that the other different stakeholders like your municipality and your other departments should also establish a well-coordinated desk that deals with ECD, so that it becomes easier, as in when you speak about ECD issues, you know exactly if you are going to a certain department or organization, you know exactly whom to contact and who is responsible for reporting and giving information. Also, in terms of when forums are sitting to discuss about ECD issues, we know exactly whom to invite so that they represent that particular sector. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. Profound. Any other colleague from the Commission? Are you happy? So you presented them well. Thank you very much, ma'am. And then plenary, any inputs? None? Okay, there's one. All right.
Thank you, sir. I'm Martha Lau. I just wanted also just to raise the issue of working parents, parents who are working and wanting to make sure that their children are safe. All the departments or the places where the parents are working, how do we make sure that children are safe? Because sometimes at ECD centers, children, the ECD centers dismiss around 12:30, 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock. But I am still at work. So I also think that there must be plans to make sure that working parents, the children must also be kept safe. So wherever a department is having space, what is a possibility, especially for women, young women with small babies when they come to work? Is there something that is organized for them so that the children can also be safe? Thank you.
That one looks like a question more than an input. And it might generate a discussion that might even prolong the the meeting. However, I'm not trying to say that we shouldn't attend to it. If Commission 3, you are prepared to attend to that, you must be brief and very brief.
Thank you so much. I'm going to be brief. Mrs. Martha, thank you for that question. I think in terms of the ECD centers, they do have, how can I say, structures. They do have code of conduct in place to keep children safe. And maybe there's people that has longer working hours, so that even if the school program or the academic program is completed, children are still kept safe within the centers. In terms of extension to other buildings or other spaces where children can be kept safe, I think that should be discussed also at different district levels. Okay.
Briefly so, thank you. The next hand, I saw a hand there.
Good morning. I'm Sipokazi from Sipokazi Daycare Center. I just want to say, because I heard we must also involve the parents on ECTs. Yes, we involve the parents of ECTs. We have a big challenge. Like when the school is closed, the sisters are at home. The parents are not bringing the kids to the centers. At the end of the day, you will see that the kids are not safe anymore because they are roaming around in the street. And you will call the meeting to tell the parents, even on group chat, please bring the kids to the ECTs, no matter their sisters and brothers are at home. But the parents, they will tell you, no, the kids are away to Kuruman, to Pamperstad, wherever. And it's our big challenge, that one, because we will open the centers on holidays. You will sit with 3 kids, 4 kids. The parents are not bringing the kids. And sometimes I have to do the door-to-door to ask the parents to bring the kids. It's a big challenge. I wish this thing can take a serious note to encourage the parents. We tried at our ECTs to encourage the parents to bring the kids when the school is closed. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That one is a concern. MEC, that's where dropout starts, of dropouts. They drop out there. But thank you very much. Noted. Can we move now for the adoption of the report of Commission 3? Is that an appetite? Oh, move. Yes.
Thanks, Chair. My name is Lesang Kham Freddy Moagi from Gasekgonyana Local Municipality. As the member of the committee, I stand to move for the adoption of the report. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Adopted. Seconder? Okay, no? Oh, Chair. As a seconder. Would you mind? We can take both of you as seconders. Okay.
Good morning. Thanks, Chair. My name is Yolanda Slade. I'm the Provincial QLTC Coordinator. Thank you. I second the adoption of the report. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now, colleagues, we've come to an end of the reports, and they've been adopted. And then the EMT will take this forward and then draft the resolutions that will disseminate further. Now, let me guide you as to what's going to happen from now. I'm going to call upon the MEC to ascend the stage to do the closing remarks and the vote of thanks. But before that, 3 things must happen here. Remember, after the MEC have spoken, we don't want to hear any other voice, including that one of the facilitator. So we're going to clear up the stage, and then everybody will disappear permanently from the stage, including the facilitator and the reporters. But no, wait, don't be so in a hurry. I'll tell you. But MEC, I think we're doing well with time, and for that, I think I deserve an award. So, as I call upon the MEC to ascend the stage, 3 things must happen. You'll put your hands together. I want to hear that roar, and the drum beat, the tree, I must hear. MEC, may you please come forward? Let's do it. 3 things. And roar. Stand up. Stand up. No, colleagues, do it harder than that. Thank you very much. I'm gone. Thank you.
Thank you so much, the District Director of Pixley Kaseme, one of the colleagues who has promised that they will be able to deliver the 90%. As the Northern Cape, we have made a particular commitment, and I'm sharing this commitment with all and sundry, so that you must know who made the commitment. The commitment was made by all the districts that as a province, we are striving towards 90% at least for this year. So last year, we have done extremely well, where every district achieved more than 80%. So this year, we are convinced we should be doing much better. With the earlier indications in terms of the June results, we are up there. Still need to do a lot of work, but we are up there. We are moving in the right direction. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, again. Yeah, let's encourage them, let's give them a nice hand of applause. All the district directors, they are here. They know the commitment that they have made, the district teams have made, principals have made, schools have made, and as well as head office has made. So allow me, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, to acknowledge in our presence the member of the Executive Council that is with us here this morning, MEC Fufe Makatong, the MEC responsible for roads and public works, and colleagues have reflected on the role of roads and public works in as far as ECD infrastructure is concerned. The Mayor of Ruttersveld Local Municipality, Councillor Knop, is here. The Mayor of Mtanjeni Local Municipality, Councillor Mkumbi, is still here this morning. The Mayor of Hatulapile Municipality, Councillor Irene Williams, is still here this morning. And the Mayor of Keiharib Municipality, Councillor Matthys. Colleagues, we are delighted to have you amongst us, because issues that relates to ECD and foundational learning is of absolute importance if we want to have and build a strong education system in the province. Forget about the number 9 position in grade 12. I always say the number 9 position will take care of itself if we understand and we appreciate that the work needs to be done at all the other phases, including ECD, from foundation to intermediate phase to senior phase. If we have an appreciation for that, I'm sure we will be moving in the right direction. So the Mayor of Keiharib Municipality, Councillor Matthys, representatives from the University of the Free State of Northwest, as well as our own Solplaatje University. Once again, Mrs. Hulda Barnard from Custodia Trust, the officials from DBE, and I think I must also recognize that Custodia Trust played a critical role in terms of shaping our ECD strategy in the province. Yeah, let's give them a proper hand. Their expertise has been very handy in terms of assisting us to draft an ECD strategy for the province. And obviously there were other role plays as well. The officials from the Department of Basic Education, and I see many of them, they are still here this morning. Let's give them a proper hand, ladies and gentlemen. We know that in other provinces, these indabas are convened over one day. But as the province of the Northern Cape, we've specifically requested a second day because we did not want the issue of ECD being diluted in terms of dealing with the issues. And I think the commissions did a good job yesterday. It is actually clear in terms of the resolutions that came out of the commissions. So thank you so much for your role as colleagues that have supported us and guided the proceedings. Officials from the Department of Education, led by Dr. Ismail, as well as stakeholders and private partners in education, all the stakeholders in education, not only business, also talking of the sporting fraternity that is here, religious fraternity, organized labor, and all other sectors that are present here today. We want to acknowledge you, and that colleagues within the ECD sector, distinguished guests, the colleagues in the ECD sector. I think I want to start off my conclusion of these remarks to say, before I'm starting with the remarks, I think I want to indicate that when I started and I was assigned into this responsibility as the MEC responsible for education, I made two remarks when I was interviewed by the SABC as our priorities. I said our first priority would be the formalization and the professionalization of the ECD sector in the Northern Cape. That's the first commitment I made. The second one I made was about the introduction and expansion of technology in the space of education, in particular as it relates to e-learning and the broader digitization of the education space. Those were the two commitments I made, and I was very clear in terms of that. So you will hear, my first commitment was the ECD formalization. So I've always said in terms of meeting with the different teams that for me, ECD is very central. That is why, as a Department of Education, for the next 3-4 years, for this entire term, our focus on Mandela Day, there's nothing else but focusing on ECD centers, providing support to ECD centers. Yeah, you can run a clap here. So, ladies and gentlemen, as we draw this important G20 Provincial Education Summit to a close, I want to express my sincere gratitude for the energy, the insight and dedication that each one of us has brought to the discussions, both at the plenary level as well as in the different commissions. Over the past day and a half, we have shared, debated and reflected on how we can advance education that not only respond to the challenges of today, but also lay a solid foundation for the future. At the heart of our discussions, ladies and gentlemen, has been the critical importance of quality foundational learning. We have all agreed that the first years of a child's educational journey are the years where foundational skills in literacy, numeracy, and social emotional development are formed, which are the most crucial. These are the these years lay the groundwork for all future learning, growth, and opportunity. However, as we all know, the challenges we face are significant in the ECD fraternity. Too many children across the G20 countries, particularly in vulnerable communities, are still not receiving the quality education they deserve at the foundational level, whether it is access to trained practitioners or teachers, appropriate learning support material, or a supportive learning environment. The barriers are real and they affect outcomes far beyond the classroom. By doing this in Daba, we have now elevated the South African perspective, in particular the Northern Cape view on ECD development to the national government, which will culminate into the policy engagements towards the G20 countries. Now we also know that quality foundational learning is not just a right, but it is a game changer. It is the key to breaking the cycles of poverty, inequality, and social exclusion. It is a pathway through which children develop critical thinking skills and resilience they need to thrive in an ever-changing world. Throughout this Indaba, ladies and gentlemen, we have shared examples of how bold, forward-thinking approaches are making a difference in education, whether it is through integrating digital learning tools, investing in training, or reimagining curriculum to better align with the needs of young learners. We have seen that change is not only possible, and it is already happening in certain areas. Thus, Indaba, ladies and gentlemen, has resolved, amongst others, from 3 commissions to summarily, and I quote, professional development of practitioners with a specific focus on inclusive education. Secondly, coordinated stakeholder involvement through memorandum of understandings, foster active parental and family participation, and the importance of ECD must find expression in the district development model and IDPs of municipalities. The implementation of the provincial ECD strategy, coupled with the resolutions of this Indaba, will form the basis of the work of the Northern Cape Department of Education henceforth. Coordination of the ECD sector going forward becomes paramount. One of the key areas that we in the Northern Cape must focus on, and that is where the Banapele campaign becomes important, is the issue of data collection. Not only in terms of just registering centers, but also focusing on data around the practitioners, data around the learner populations and age groups, data around infrastructure shortages in the Northern Cape. When we went to Roodepan on Mandela Day, and 2-3 weeks before that, in engaging the ECD centers there, just in Roodepan alone, we visited 17 ECD centers for the day. Obviously, before that, we had to do a lot of work. But as the education department, we covered 17 ECD centers for that day. The point I'm trying to communicate, the majority of those 17 ECD centers were not even registered. So as a Department of Education, we do not know that we have those centers in Roodepan. We came to understand now during this process, in the build-up to the Mandela Day, that there are 17 ECD centers that needs attention from the side of the department. We are calling on all stakeholders, everybody that operates in the ECD fraternity, to play a role around the issue of data collection. For us to really provide the necessary service and assistance and support, we need to understand what this animal looks like. Because it's huge, and the responsibilities around ECD formalization is huge. Starting with grade R, which in terms of the Bella Act is compulsory, already as we speak. So for January 2026, we need to be ready. We need to have every child at the age of 6 years should be in grade R at a school level or at an ECD center, because as a province, our infrastructure shortages makes it difficult for us to say all ECD learners, grade R learners, should just go to schools, because not all schools have got the capacity to accommodate such. So the second issue as part of our focus would also be the issue of resource mobilization. So I agree, in the province, in terms of economic sectors, we have the mining sector, which the mines in the different districts provide support to schools and provide support to ECD centers. So welcome endeavor, we agree with it. You also have the renewable energy sector, which are the solar farms, the wind farms. And now even with the introduction of hydrogen, you might also have Sasol that will play a role, especially in your Namakwa area and in your Priska area. So all of these economic sector role players, in particular your mines and your solar farms, they will play a role in terms of providing support to ECDs. But really, colleagues, I don't have a problem if a stakeholder provide toys to an ECD center, and please understand me quite clearly. Daar's niks verkeerd om speelgoed te oorhandig by die skool nie. But you and I know our challenge in terms of ECD goes far beyond the issue of dishing out toys. There are serious challenges in terms of infrastructure. So we should actually be pushing for infrastructure. We should be pushing for learning and teaching material that we need in the classroom. We should be pushing for the introduction of technology. Those are the issues that should be high on our priority list, so that we should not be told, you need this, and then this is given to us. We're not ungrateful, but we are saying also as the ECD sector in the Northern Cape, nothing for us without us. We can't be told you need this, and then we also agree, yes, we do need that. So, going forward, that should be our approach, and if we do proper coordination around the issue of resource mobilization, we will be in a position to work closely with the role players in those sectors. In JTG, you have your SIOC, you have your JTG Trust. In Namakwa, you have your mining industry, you have your different IPPs there, and all in the other districts. Local mayors, district mayors must play a role together with the Department of Education so that we unlock opportunities. We have engaged some of these sectors. I can also say there's been a positive response even from civil society organizations, NGOs. We have just launched here in Platfontein a state-of-the-art ECD center about 3-4 weeks back. A state-of-the-art ECD center that will cater for about 160 learners. age group between 3 and 5 years. That's an example of an investment that will actually leave a legacy of a contribution. We have been engaged, and I think it was Palms for Life that contributed for that center. So you can go to JTG, you'll be able to mention some support from the private sector. You can go to Namako, you'll be able to mention Vedanta, the building of ECD centers. So those are the issues that that should be our priority, given the fact that in the Northern Cape, we know our biggest challenge, especially in our remote areas, is the issue of infrastructure. And that should be our approach. I agree on the issue of coordinating at the provincial level, at the district level, as well as at the local municipal level. Municipalities, we must work with SALGA around the issue of land policy. Space available so that we are able, and we are not competing with churches. We are saying in some areas you are providing land to churches, mayor. Ons het nie probleme, ons is bly vir die grond wat die kerk kry. Ons bid ook by die kerk. But we are saying the kids, we need land to provide facilities for kids. And that's one area that we are going to prioritize. If we really want to, we speak of formalization and support to ECDs in different communities. So, but also let me be very clear, colleagues, that the road ahead is long and that the need for collective sustained action has never been more urgent. So as leaders in education, we all are called upon to actually make this work beyond this gathering that we had. This means advocating for policies that prioritize early childhood education, creating environments where children feel safe and supported, and empowering practitioners with the skills and resources they need to succeed. One of the areas that we are currently focusing on as we speak, we are vetting all educators in the education system in the Northern Cape. We are doing it with SACE, and the reason why we are doing it is that we need to ensure that our learners are safe and that we have not employed teachers that has been actually already found guilty by a court of law, and also should not be working with learners, should not be working with kids. So at some point we'll have to extend that also to all our ECD practitioners, because the age group of learners that they are working with, we need to ensure that those learners are not at risk in terms of any kind of negative approaches. So as we close, let us reflect on the words of the great educator, Maria Montessori, who is also an educator from Italy, when she said, and I quote, "The greatest sign of success for a teacher is to be able to say, the children are now working as if I did not exist." And we are not even there, but we are working towards that. So our goal is to build education systems that are so strong, so inclusive, and so well supported that every child can thrive regardless of their starting point. So let us leave here today with renewed purpose and a shared commitment to ensuring that every child in every community has access to quality foundational learning. This is the bedrock of which we will build a brighter, more equitable future for all. So yesterday I mentioned the issue of the learner dropout rate in the province. So we will be working with all QLTC partners, those that have a keen interest in this, and it should be all of us. Part of the study will continue, but at the same time, from October, we must roll out a program a campaign to ensure that every learner is in the class. And we are starting, the campaign must be called Every Child in Class, and English. And in isiXhosa, I'm told it should be Umtana Nganye Eklasini. Yes. In Afrikaans, I'm told it should be Elke kind in the class. And in Setswana, I'm told, and I might even be wrong, Ngwanya, Mongwe, Le Mongwe, Ko Paposing Borutelo. Is that correct? I'm trying here. I'm trying my best here. Can I at least get an applause for trying? So, ladies and gentlemen, colleagues, that should be our campaign. In October, September, October, November, we'll run a 3-month campaign. We'll run it in churches, we'll run it everywhere, in streets, we'll run it in communities, we'll work with ward committees, we'll work with SGBs, we'll work with CPFs, everybody. The issue of the child in a classroom becomes important. It's my responsibility. All of us, we are parents here. We should be running with that campaign that your child is my child. And we must, if we see a kid, we've been in the R, we went to the R on Monday. When we did that motorcade, we saw kids playing there. And those kids, all of them, they were even beyond the age group of 6. And by then it was about, what was it, the time? Was 9:30, 10 o'clock. And the kids there, they were about 12, 13 of them, just playing their soccer. And I'm asking myself, how many are still at school? Are still there at home? So this campaign becomes a very important campaign. And it is not only relevant for the current learners that are supposed to be in school, the current dropouts. It's relevant in particular for grade R's, come next year. So we are depending on each one of us to drive that campaign. So let me also take this opportunity to wish all the women a happy Women's Month. Yes, let's give them a proper hand. And the reason why I'm raising it, we all understand and we know that women forms the bedrock of the ECD sector and foundational learning broadly. Because the number, the percentage of women that operates in the foundational learning space is between 90 and 95%. Only a few of us men operate in that space. Because ons het mos nou nie daai moederlike instinkkie man. We don't have that kind of patience what a ma het. Us men, we don't have that. Yes, only women has got that particular kind of approach to kids. So women forms the bedrock of the ECD sector and fulfill a pivotal role in educating our children and our nation. The same role that the women in 1956 displayed when they marched to the Union buildings to say to it, enough is enough. As government, we remain committed to the full emancipation of women in our province, in communities, in our homes, in our schools, and also in our ECD sector. Thank you once again to each one of you for your hard work, your passion and your commitment to this cause. Let us take the energy and ideas from this Indaba and turn them into real, impactful action. So as I conclude, ladies and gentlemen, let me express a word of sincere gratitude to the Solplaatje University for their sterling role in ensuring that this program is a huge success. Can we give them a proper hand? Maybe we must mention that we got this facility for free. Yes. And also, we were the first to actually convene in this facility. En nogal gratis ook nog. So also to our steering committee and all the organizers involved, you have outdone yourself with the arrangements. Let's give them a proper hand, ladies and gentlemen. Lastly, and most importantly, to all the invited guests and participants, in particular, the presenters, the panelists, everybody involved. Yesterday, we were so intimidated. We had professors, we had doctors. I asked myself, maybe I must go back and study, because we have really been blessed with the presence of highly skilled colleagues who assisted us very, very well. So we want to say a special word of gratitude to the team of DBE. That is now the Department of Basic Education, National Department. Colleagues, thank you so much. Your role, not only these 2 days, but prior, in terms of all the arrangements, we appreciate the effort that you've put in. Understanding that as the Northern Cape must also get the same attention like any other province, and I'm grateful for your role. But most importantly, colleagues, we would not have had this event without you, the participants. The only concern I have, but I'm not having it's not a serious concern. We need to ensure that at the district level, we convene our ECD practitioners. So my team will make sure that when we go out to districts, we have engagement sessions with the ECD practitioners and all center owners and center managers. We need to meet so that we deal with our issues at the district level. And the good thing is that our district directors are here. We'll be ensuring that if we are serious about ECD, we must make sure that whatever we plan at the provincial level finds expression in the districts and also in the different circuits and in all schools. So colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, travel safe, and may we continue to work together in the spirit of collaboration, unity, and purpose. Thank you.
Thank you very much, colleagues. I'm back. I'm not negating the statement that I made earlier on, that after the MEC have spoken, no one is expected to speak. But this one is an announcement. The speed at which we drove this session was a Ferrari speed. It even surpassed that of the caterers. And because of that, the arrangements now for catering are as follows. The dignitaries, just like yesterday, will go to the holding room. But everyone else, takeaways are prepared. And then there's also tea in between, so you can serve yourself. So thank you very much. That was just an announcement. Okay?